Good afternoon, you're very welcome. You're listening to Scariff Bay Community Radio, and we're here in Park na Dí Shelvaha in Bodyke for the Premier Intermediate clash between Tulla and Killanena. We're here with our commentator and analyst. Just before we start, a big thank you to everybody, particularly everyone in the GA family who helped out on Friday night, the match we were commentating on, which was abandoned, but we're delighted to report that Éanna is back and out and up and around again, and thank God for that, and he's making a good recovery. Our analysts today are Sean O'Halloran and Kevin O'Regan, and I'll hand you over now to Éanna's dad, and a very relieved dad, I'd say, Leo Doyle.
Yeah, good man. Good morning, Jim. Yeah, indeed, very relieved, and I've taken your sentiments there entirely. Thanks to everyone involved in Scariff GA Club on Friday night. Now, I think you would like to see happening, and look, thanks to everyone, the medical people, both from Evicted, from Bodyke and Catherine Minogue, Dr. Michelle Mack, Lauren Hayes, the Evicted paramedic, and the other people, and McGill, and all the people there, the first Catherine Skelly, so the people that came there, and of course the air crew, and thanks to all the supporters and everyone for your good wishes in the last couple of days, and look, we appreciate everything. Back to matters here. We have an important matter here today, an Premier Intermediate game between Killanena and Tulla. I'm joined by Sean and Kevin. Give you the line out of both teams first. In goals for Tulla is Dan Vaughan, Liam McInerney, Kevin Conlon, and for Ryan is the full back line. Tony Layden, Ryan Hayes and Bodyke Mulconroy the half back line. Éanna Calloo and David Meehan middle of the field. Dan Whittingham, Shawnee Whittingham and Colin Corbett the half forward line. Roland Malloy, Dara Curry and Emmett Mulcahy the full forward line. For Killanena, in goals is Colin Maloney, Donald Maloney, Jason Keehan, Darren McMahon, Ian McNamara, Ronan Keane and Cathal Noonan, Shane Broderick and Micheál Smith, Ronan Bowes, Shamie O'Donnell, Aaron Maloney, Mark Flaherty, Keith Smith and Toby Amara the full back line. As I said, joined by Kevin and Sean. Tulla in the claret and gold, Killanena in their blue and yellow. Sean, this is a big one.
Yeah, huge game, especially for Killanena, because they're looking for points, to get points on the board, and equally so for Tulla. They're in a better position, but the reality of it is that it's a real championship game now here on today, and I noticed in the Killanena team they have a very strong half-back line with Ian Mack, Ronan Keane and Cathal Noonan, and I would expect the game is on now, so we will go back to Leo.
Yeah, and the game is on in the middle field for Tulla. It's Dan Whittingham and also free for Killanena early stages, and players beginning to know one another. Kevin, there's a strong breeze blowing down the field in favour of Tulla here in the first half. Tulla have recovered well from their earlier loss to Tubber in the first round. This is a do or die for Killanena. They have to win it. If they don't win this one, they're in the relegation playoff. So that should add spice to the encounter.
100% do or die for Killanena, and must win to retain their hopes of continuing on the championship for 2025. Tulla have built hugely from their first round defeat to Tubber. Encouragement display against Partine, followed up with a draw last week against O'Callaghan's Mills. A strong line-up and a strong win favouring Tulla, but Keith Smith is a free dropping into the square, Leo.
Yeah, and the ball is in. Flaherty is trying to pull it there. Ronan Bowes is in there, but it's Kevin Conlon. Kevin Conlon gives it out to David Meehan. David Meehan being chased by both. Tulla are playing down towards the Tungranian in the first half. The ball down to Dara Curry. Dara Curry comes out in front of Jason Keehan. Curry has shown a return to form the last day. He's pulled back by Ian McNamara. Free in for Tulla, and a chance to get an early score on the board, Sean. But there's a strong breeze there. What kind of a lead would you need going in here, Sean, at half time?
At least 6 or 7 points anyway. Definitely, it's a real strong feed, strong breeze. It's blown from the Bodyke side right over to the Tungrani and the dressing room end. So the first chance to opportunity for Sean Whittingham to put a score on the board for Tulla.
Yeah, Sean, who has been the Markman Supreme in this. Our match sponsorship today is in association with Credit Union, Michael Long Construction, and our main sponsor is the Holly Tree in Tulla. What a place that is harder to get out of than to get in. When you get in there, you see lots of things, but look, a very nice place to be in, and thanks to Kate for our sponsorship of this game. Here's a free 30 metres out to be taken by Sean Whittingham, and Sean puts the first one on the board. That's the first score for Tulla over the bar, and while we have a chance, we must also say condolences to the Salmon family, Joe Salmon and his family up there in Killanena, on the death of his late sister May. There was a mess in Killanena the other night for may she rest in peace. The ball is out to Dan Whittingham trying to win it. The ball is with Keith Smith. Keith Smith incurs a couple of challenges there, but it's different for Killanena. They had Smith in the full forward line the last day, but he was starved. He's out around midfield, half forward line today, Kevin.
Yeah, he's lined up on left half forward, marking Tony Layden. So you've two exceptional young hurlers playing against each other. It's like hammer to hammer. Tony Layden exceptional last day against O'Connell's Mills, particularly in the first half, alongside his centre back colleague Ryan Hayes, who's only 18 but put in a tour de force display against the Mills last week. So a physical start to proceedings, a real change to conditions as well, Leo. So summer hurling is over. It's very much a wintry day today.
That's a shot from Colin Maloney, and Colin Maloney shot it. I thought it was going to curl inside the post, in again that breeze, but it goes out to the right hand side and gone wide. 3 minutes gone. It's 1 to Tulla. Killanena yet to score. Dan Vaughan goes long down on top of the fella, down on top of Darren McMahon. The ball comes into Emmett Mulcahy there on the far side. Emmett puts a lovely ball across to Colin Corbett. There's a chance here for Colin. Colin drops the ball at the first opportunity, and the ball is picked up by Ronan Keane. Ronan and Ian Mack. Sean Holland said a big half back line there for Killanena. There are 3 count him in. Colin Noonan. Cathal Noonan, that pass goes straight to Éanna Clue. This is going to drop. If Corey can put a hand on this one, Jason Keehan does well, and Donald Maloney comes across. Donald Maloney adds strength to that half back line, that full back line as well. He gets the ball out to Ronan Keane, what a player this is. Ronan puts the ball down the corner, looking here for the Killanena. It's out. Is it Mark Flaherty trying to get it out? Is it Maloney trying to get it out there for Killanena? Tobias O'Mara there also, Shamie O'Donnell, but the ball comes across to Ryan Hayes, and the ball comes off Shamie O'Donnell. Sean Holland, Ryan Hayes, probably one of the players of the Premier Intermediate so far.
Yeah, an up and coming player, played county minor, last year, and no doubt he'll be a key player for Tulla in the years to come.
Yeah, and Ryan is going to take this line ball 20 metres out from his own goal down at the Bodyke side here. Ryan, of course, was a member of the Clare minor team that got to the Ireland semi-final. He cuts it up along the wing. Got Cathal Noonan putting out his hand. Not too sure who he was looking for on that occasion, as Ronan Malai went to ground. Malai, who's really has improved his team since he came back into Fortulla. The ball comes out to Mihal Smith in the middle of the field. Smith gives it out to Ian McNamara. McNamara coming up for Killanena, gets the ball out to Flaherty. Flaherty's touch lets him down unusual on this occasion, and Hayes sprays a lovely ball into Mulcahy. Mulcahy is kind of coming out as a Roman corner forward. Mulcahy turns off the left, Mulcahy over the bar. He's having a good championship too, Kevin.
He is Leo, really maturing into his position on the team, just 19 years of age. Very noticeable how Ryan Hayes picked him out, and Emmett finished it very well. A great score from Emmett.
Yeah, 2 points to Tulla, no score for Killanena. Cathal Noonan coming out for Killanena, gets away from the challenge of Den Whitcomb. Then the ball comes out to Ronan Keane. Ronan goes to the corner towards Shamie. Shamie puts up the hand but doesn't come down with it. It's caught by the bull of Mulconroy coming out for Tulla, gets the ball, but his pass goes straight. Ian Mack, can he get it? He overruns it. Ooh, soft enough free, Sean. I didn't see Colin doing a whole lot wrong on that occasion, but Mac was making ground.
In fairness, he got a bad bounce of the ball and he just lost control of it, but there was a touch, I say, for the hurley just from behind, so it's a free in for Killanena and a chance to put a score on the board. Yeah, and Fergal O'Brien from O'Lahan, Bradford, is our match referee, one of the top referees in board codes in our county. Very, very, very capable referee, and Keith Smith with this 40-yard free directly in the centre of the pitch. This should be Killanen's first score. That's meat and drink to Keith Smith. 2 points to Tulla, 1 for Killanena. Kevin, even after 6 minutes, they'd be quite happy there's only a point in it.
And noticeable how influential Ronan Keane, Ian Mack already have been on proceedings, and Cathal Noonan has been involved in play as well, so their half back line have been involved very much so at the start, as Ronan Malai takes a shot and he makes no mistake.
Malai is playing, kind of gone in at full forward, back out to the corner. He's switching with Derek Curry. That puck out from Dan Vaughan went the whole way down. Malai, newly recruited Garda, working in Dublin, and he just turns and puts that ball over the bar. Ball over to Donald Maloney from Colin. Out from Cullum down to Ian McNamara hits it into a man who made a bit of an contribution last Sunday, Ronan Bowes, good young player, switches the ball out to Flaherty, and Flaherty just swigs down. Sean, I know we spoke about him last Sunday. He's just a tremendous hurler.
Sure, he's rolling back to years now for the last, for in all the games, in fairness, like he's a serious threat up front, but in credit to Ronan Bowes, give a great ball out to him and he put it over the bar.
He is a man, another young hurler, a great hurler, man who was immigrated there for a while, Colin Corbett, but hasn't lost his touch getting away away from the challenge of Ian McNamara. Gets a lovely ball in towards the middle. It's Curry on it. Switched away by Darren McMahon. The Killanena backs are doing well. Darren McMahon out to Ronan Keane. And Kevin is immediately, you can see the influence where Keane is probably back in his best position as he puts the ball up to the cousin in Keith Smith. Arden Maloney gets away from the challenge, and it's Liam McInerney. Maloney comes across, there's players out there. Maloney turns, Maloney puts it over the bar. That's a very good score. This is a good game, Kevin. 3 points all.
Very, very much so, yeah. Nothing in it so far. If anything, the Killanena are probably doing that a little bit more hurling. Balls going to ground with some of the passing the Tulla forward line, and they haven't been able to clinically get scored on the board.
The ball, a good puck out from Dan Vaughan out to Mulconroy. Mulconroy immediately switched the play to Derek Curry. Derek with that trademark drop down, and a foul on Jason Keehan. And once again, Keehan is fairly irate. I thought maybe there was a bit of holding before the ball came, but Curry went to ground like any good forward should do. And now that for dissent, Jason Keehan given Fergal a small bit of advice, and there could be a lot of advice put if he have to have a go for this one, Sean, but you'd expect maybe Shawnee just to step that one over the bar.
Yeah, Shawnee is a very good free taker, and I think this won't be a problem for him. But it's noticeable that Killanena are up their game from last weekend. They've started very well, and they're playing good team play in terms of getting the ball into the full line, and I think that was the policy with the half-back line they actually picked, that they get the ball as fast as they could into the full forward line.
He looks like he's going for this one. He puts it over the bar. He had a good run up with it. Yeah. Shawnee and then of course their father Chris Kerryman who claims to know nothing about hurling, Kevin, but I think he's like all Kerryman, he's accused.
He claims to know nothing about it, or he claims to know a lot about it at times as well. But a difficult man to argue with now, to be honest about it. What he says it goes. But hugely passionate man, has been hugely influential in Tulla underage over the years. Their minor A manager at the moment as well, and the lads just exceptional hurlers, great club men who are also coaching with their dad in the minor team. Yeah.
And it's 4 points to 3. Shawnee put that one over the bar. The ball breaks down. Ryan Hayes goes to ground. Good pick up from Hayes. Tries to get away from the challenge, but he's blocked by Mihal Smith there. It was the Brick Broderick. And the ball, Hayes is coming out there. Swinging one hand. I thought it was a late pull onto by Samara. Has been pulled. I think Ryan was maybe frustrated he didn't get the free. And of course the boys, no better men than the Brick to let you know quick enough what's at stake. But and he's now incurred the wrath of the referee. It was a kind of a loose swing, Sean.
Yeah, Ryan actually he lost it the first time, one possession back, and when he was striking the ball, he got hooked. And he, in fairness to him now, he's got a yellow card, but it's probably a bit harsh now. But the reality of it was, you cannot kill any loose swings, and Fergal O'Brien is going to punish any indiscretions there.
Yeah, indeed. And Tobias gone down. It's 4 points to 3, and nearly 10 minutes gone here in Park Nadi Shilvaha, Bodyke 4 to Tulla, 3 to Killanena, and Smith with another maybe I suppose for Keith Smith, Kevin, a tap over.
Yeah, about 45-50 metres out straight in front of the goal. He scored one from a similar position just a few minutes ago. You'll expect he'll have no problem with this, and it'll make it 4 points apiece with just 10 minutes gone.
Yeah, Keith Smith and Killanena, they have Tubber after this. They have to try and get a result in both games to stay out that relegation, as it turns out maybe, but Smith puts it over the bar. Indeed, it's level picking. 4 points all. As we said, 10.5 minutes gone. Dan Vaughan, Tulla playing with the aided breeze in the first half. Malai making a run, a DK run, and Dan goes over this side towards Colin Corbett. Corbett puts up, but he's blocked down by Carl Noonan. Comes to Colin Corbett. Corbett turns off the left hand side. That ball, and Colin Maloney lost that. The son has made an appearance here in Bodyke. He gets that ball out to Carl Noonan. I tell you, that was airborne, Kevin, and Carl turned the hurley and he still couldn't keep it in.
That's right. It was a brave effort to try and keep control of it now, and it was just out of his reach.
Yeah. Yes, as Shani Whitcomb takes up the sideline cut just on the right-hand touchline. Very physically strange, like I said a few minutes ago. The conditions really have changed from the short weather and the t-shirt weather to the jeans and the jumpers and the coats, and the wind is going to play a factor. And Tulla, Shawnee's taking a shot.
That's a brilliant cut from the skillful Shawnee Whitcomb. He has everything. He's an outstanding hurler. Frees from play and from line ball. Puts it over the bar. Tulla 5, Killanena 4. And you said we were here, Sean Holland, last Sunday in t-shirts at Tulla at the Killanena Barteen game. the championship is a different feel about it now.
Completely different, yeah. The temperatures are, 5 or 6 degrees lower, and it's a different ball game. But the pitch is holding up well now, and despite all the rain during the week.
Yeah, the temperatures may have dropped in weather-wise, but I tell you, they've increased in intensity in championship-wise. And Cathal Noonan, I thought in fairness of any defeat, that was one he was dragged away by Derek Curry. He goes to ground, will throw in the ball, and he's gone to ground and picked up a kind of a loose elbow there for his troubles. It's 5 to Tulla, Killanena 4, and I suppose this break up and play, Kevin, it probably suits Killanena, as they're playing into that stiff breeze.
Absolutely, because like we said, the advantage is to play to the dressing rooms here, which Tulla have at the moment. I suppose it's noticeable Tulla haven't had a few shots from play at goal. Like we said a few minutes ago, just the extra pass just isn't really going to hand, or depending on Shawnee's sideline cut and maybe a free or two as well, just to keep the scoreboard ticking over. Very little fluidity to it as well. The conditions are playing a factor in relation to that, and the exchanges have no doubt been physical and no quarter given or taken. Yeah,
and I think the Brick is down. Brick is playing the soldier down there. He's up. He's a warrior. He's up and dead again. There's no doubt about it, Sean. You said it there earlier. Killanena have upped their intensity even greater from their performance here last Sunday.
Yeah, but Killanena will be happy enough. There's 10 going on to 13 minutes now, and the scores are level. So if they can keep well in the game up to half time, with the breeze coming in their favour in the second half, everything is to play for them.
Yeah, that ball is thrown in by Fergal 50 metres out from the Killanena goal. Who has it? It's coming out there. It's Killanena. The ball is back with Cathal Noonan. What a servant Noonan has been. He gets away from the tackle. In fairness, if this man had picked up so many serious injuries, there's no doubt about it, he would be a prominent player for the senior inter-county team. And they're calling Colm Maloney, and Colm is in no particular hurry. Now he gets into a kind of a rather slow jog to take this free, and this one will not be far away from the score here, because he's a man with a real long puck. Ryan Hayes goes back to Aid Dan Vaughan in the goal. Here comes Maloney inside his own 65, into the breeze, strikes it well. Is it going to hang? Is it right in where? And it's caught in Hayes, the centre back, kicks up and takes that challenge, gets it out, but the ball is coming out. It's going to be picked up by Cathal Kalou, but he's lost to the Brick. The Brick loses it out to gives it back to Tobias. Tobias turns off his left, and Tobias splits the post. It's 5 points all here in Páirc Shelva. And Kevin, on the balance of play, fair score.
Absolutely, yeah, and Killanena just that little bit more clinical up front. Just a half a hook on the clearance from Ryan Hayes, and the ball broke to Tobias, and he made no mistake.
That ball is plucked out by Dan Vaughan. Cathal Noonan goes up, and he's beaten robbed by Derek Curry. But in comes Dolan Maloney. Maloney is a very, very underrated player. He gives it out to Ronan Keane. Keane gives a lovely ball out to Keith Smith. Smith is going to shoot off his left. Keith, does it come inside? It does come inside the post. In fairness, Sean Holland, that's a great team play. Noonan to Keane to Smith. Go hard and dressing on.
Absolutely, but the launching pad of all the scores nearly are the half back line that we mentioned earlier. You're a very strong Killanena half back line, and they're really playing well, every one of them.
Yeah, that ball goes over the head of Darren McMahon and Keehan. Keehan had a good game last Sunday at fullback, and he does well. Gets the ball out to the man who's been on more ball than anyone in the first 20 minutes here, and that's Cathal Noonan. Out to Ian McNamara. McNamara gives it to Ronan Keane. Kevin, I think as it goes on, Killanena have found their best team in this championship.
It definitely looks like it, particularly the half back line are dominating, very much so.
Ronan Bowes. Ronan was trying to take on the tackle there off Fionn Ryan, and Fionn Ryan is not an easy man to get around. Stood up Ronan Bowes. Ronan is a very young player. I'd say maybe he might be making his first start in the intermediate championship, and the ball is going to be taken by Tony Layden, and Tony Layden, Keith Smith, challenge Jewel is going to be have a big say in this one. It's Killanena 6, Tulla 5, 16 minutes gone here. Tony was going to go short to Ryan Hayes, decides to go long, and this one is going down on top of Maloney. Is it going to go to the right? It has gone to the right and gone wide, and the chance goes a big one for Tulla. Killanena stay in the lead 6-5. Once again, we thank the Holly Tree for their match sponsorship. Colm Maloney with the puck of mark Killanena. He's going to go short out to Donald. They done it last Sunday in the match here again. Killanena got overturned, and one of the goals came out of it. The ball comes into Tobias. Tobias gets out in front of Tony Layden. The Brick loses a kind of a loose swing. The ball comes to Den. Den with a lovely short swing from Dan Whittingham. That's the equaliser again. In fairness, Kevin, the two Whittinghams, they're keeping Tulla going here.
Absolutely, and it's like particularly Shawnee, he's been their main score getter throughout this championship campaign, and Dan chips in with his couple of scores as well. They're usually important players in the Tulla team, but I will say from open play they need to tighten up in their own half-back markers.
That ball is poked out there by Colin Maloney. It gives it to Tobias. Tobias is going through. He's getting away from Cathal Kalou, or Aina Kalou. Gives the ball out to Smith. Smith drops it. Unusual for Keith Smith. You wouldn't expect that from him. The ball comes to Tony. Tony drops it. Smith is back there harrying again. And it comes out to Whittingham. Whittingham could have a go from here. Whittingham has such a... He opens the shoulders and hits a diagonal ball across towards Corey and Mulcahy. Mulcahy goes up to put up the hand. Doesn't come down with it. Ian McNamara picks up for Killanena. Another man who probably Beckett. And what a catch for Flaherty. He has hands like glue. Gets the ball over. The ball goes over for Micheál Smith. And the ball comes across. Kalou does well. Smith is there on his own. Isolated. Kalou does well. Gets away from the challenge. A young midfielder does well. Gets the ball out to Malai. Malai puts the ball out to Mulconroy. Mulconroy left that back. Diagonal ball. That seems to be Tulla's plan. The diagonal ball. Corbett goes up one hand. Brings it down. Corbett gets away from Keehan. He's fouled by Keehan. And Sean Holland, Keehan is surely in card territory because he's had a number of fouls in that corner.
Absolutely, yeah. He's in a bit of bother there with Colin Corbett. But you have to admire the crossfield ball that came from the Tulla half-back line. And that's, it's hard to defend against that ball. And in fairness, Colin Corbett brought it down very well and took possession and got fouled.
Yeah, Kevin, I suppose Tulliver maybe... got a maybe bad press for the first night against Tulla with this direct ball. They have definitely changed up because this ball is swinging into the corners and they're opening up the Killanena defence.
And when you've hurlers like Zakari and Corbett inside there as well, you know that there's Anthem 50-50 inside there, and if they're out in front of their men, they're going to make it count and make it stick. And Colin won that free, and Shawnee made no mistake tapping it over the bar from 20 metres out.
7 points to Tulla, 6 for Killanena. We're 18.5 minutes gone here in a really entertaining Premier Intermediate Championship game here in Páirc na Díshealbha. Hello, Bodyke. Colin Maloney with the puck out again. Gets great lint into that breeze. Goes out and the bias goes up. But that's a brilliant catch by Hayes. Hayes comes out through the tackle. There's an advantage coming. And is the advantage coming? Yes, indeed. Fergal had the hand up. But look at that's leadership. And, that's the sign of that man. He had a yellow card got, but he hasn't been beaten for any ball since. Shown great leadership, Kevin, as he came through that tackle.
No, he won the ball in his own square a few minutes ago as well. I know the clearance got half hooked and it got turned over and a point came from Ryan. But yeah, and that was another exceptional catch just over his head. Really dominant, showing a huge amount of leadership for such a young man, and just showing his hurling ability as well. Really is exceptional. He did the same last week against the Mills, and he's just blossoming and growing into this championship, and already a very, very important cog in the Tulla championship team.
Yeah, and as Sean said, one to be around for years. I think is that Jason Keehan has picked up an injury for Killanena. Shawnee will be taking a free on his own 65 with the aid of the breeze here on Tulla. 7 Killanena 6, and Jason is receiving it's a hand injury he has picked up, Sean, and I know he's never far from the centre of attention. Jason.
No, he's always there or thereabouts. Yeah, you can be sure of it. But it's a free for Tulla and well within Sean Whittingham's range now because he's a good breeze at his back. But funny, ironically, the breeze is blown up at times and then it goes calm. But I think there's a shower rising back towards the cool red bog, so there's a possibility of another downpour here.
Oh, I tell you, and it looks quite dark over there when it comes on that side. I tell you what, you can get a fair dousing. But Shawnee, maybe we might get as far as half time before that. He might pass across the Fecal Killanena Hills as it. But Shawnee on his own 65 with this puck here. Can he put Tulla into a 2-point lead? Well within his range, as Sean Holland said. It is on its way. And there's no doubt about it, long before it reached the course, Kevin Regan, the umpire set a hand up. He's just a very prolific marksman.
Very, very prolific from play and freeze, and just a huge asset to have in any team. An exceptional score from his own 65, and usually important for Tulla.
Yeah. Colin Maloney gets his puck out away again to Cathal Noonan. Cathal Noonan went into traffic, got the ball away. He comes out to Micheál Smith. Micheál Smith is on the ground, but he's robbed by Colin Corbett. Corbett is dancing. And of course their former All-Ireland handball champion with a lovely ball into the corner for Mulcahy and Darren McMahon. That's great defensive play from McMahon. Another very underrated player, has under 21A titles with Fecal Killanena. Going to be this free, going to be taken out by Colin Maloney. In fairness, Sean Holland, the individual battles here are very
really interesting. But Killanena kind of got caught up on the quick buck out there, and they got overturned. But luckily enough, now they have a free out into the half back line.
That ball comes out. It comes out to Malai. Malai gives the ball out to Shawnee. Shawnee just up. This should be over the bar from Shawnee on the shot grip, but it goes out to the left hand side and gone wide. Looking at Malay, Kevin, he's he didn't start the first game maybe due to injury, but he's really improved his Tulla team since he came in.
He has, yeah, and he played very well in the inside line last week against the Mills, and he's had a huge amount of possessions already so far today. Exceptional hurler, exceptional striker, and very important in that team.
And the young lads from Tulla and Killanena coming out there, they're warming up there. Come forward for this under 8 match at half time. And there's nearly more interest in a lot of that. The ball out to Tobias O'Mara puts the ball to Bose is lively. Can he turn Fionn Ryan? He recycles the ball back out to Flaherty. Flaherty turns and shoots. Does Flaherty splits the post? It comes out to the right hand side and gone wide. Dan Vaughan with the puck out. It's 8 points to 6 in favour of Tulla. 22.5 minutes. Great puck out down in front of Mulcahy. Mulcahy, he's been harried by Emmett, by Darren McMahon. He gives the ball out to David Meehan. David Meehan trying to get away. Gives the ball out to Dan. Dan gives it to Sean. Shawnee with the short swing. Does it come inside? It doesn't come inside. It goes out to the left hand side and gone wide. The score remains Tulla 8, Killanena 6. 22.5 minutes gone. Maloney with the puck out. But Sean, there's even last week, the intensity is way up this week.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. But actually, both teams have missing scores now. They've missed scores in the last few minutes, so that they might be costly later on. But it's still nothing in it, and it's coming up to for 5 minutes before half time. So if Killanena can stay in it, right to half time, there's a great opportunity there in the second half with their backs.
We said all to our listeners in India, Iran, Helsinki, Chicago, Kansas, London, Birmingham, and all over Ireland here tuned in. So you're all very welcome here to our broadcast here in Páirc na Díobh Luba and Diga in association with the Holly Tree in Tulla. And Maloney is making his way out. In fairness, Maloney's a lot of yards covered here today. This one should be dropping. The last one he dropped around the square, which was picked out there by Ryan Hayes. He's about 10 yards further up this time. So, Kevin, this is going to be a challenge when he's going to drop there or thereabouts.
It will be. It could be in the Carnogue, as you're well known to say yourself, Leo, and that's where it's heading for. Who's going to win it? Flaherty
puts up the hand, doesn't come down with it, but the man comes down with it. Is it Dan Wishcombe? And Dan gives it out to the Bullet, out to Mull Conroy. The man who would all been remembered for that goal in the minor B final. Gets the ball across to Meehan. Tulla playing a running game now. They're to varied. They're great handballers in Tulla. They've got a couple of good hand passes. But this is the lad I really love for Killanena. Cathal Noonan, in fairness, Sean Holland, at the heart of the defence. They're finding it hard to break him down.
Yeah, well, it's part of his very strong half-back line, but he's really holding his own there in the right half-back position. Great experienced player, former county minor. And, that is, as we said already, that's the launching pad of Killanena. But they're struggling now inside in the full forward line to win possession. So there's not ball going in there again.
Yeah, Cathal Noonan took the free on that occasion. And, Kevin, I'm looking at you have your inter-county top marksman. Maybe it's a bit far out and to be bringing him back in Keith Smith, but he seems isolated and not much ball coming over this side of the field towards him.
Very little. He's playing left half forward, being marked by Tony Layden, and I don't think they've had any 50-50 contest or anybody's come near Keith in open play, which might suit Killanena maybe a little bit as well, because Tony hasn't been involved and he can be usually influential as well. But Keith Smith, like you say, inter-county marksman, inter-county forward, he should be and needs to be involved for Killanena.
That ball is caught by Ryan Hayes, comes up, Ian McNamara over on the far side. Ian trying to get it over in front of his own dugout. Who's going to come out with it? And indeed, there was a kind of a rather, I'm not too sure. We've had some good hand passes. I think that wasn't not one of the better ones, Sean.
I think handball was let down a small bit in that hand pass, unfortunately. But anyway, it is an opportunity for Killanena, maybe to put a score on the board.
Yeah, and Keith has gone across 25, just over 25 and a half minutes gone. And Keith, we're speaking about him, he's definitely gone over this one as the breeze. He's blown up a good bit here as those dark clouds are looming on us, and Keith is as tight to the sideline on the bog side here in Bodyke. You get 70 metres out from the Tulla goal. And in fairness, I think the Killanena boys are fairly confident that he's going to nail this one. That does very, very few inside. Flaherty, of course, is watching, as always, watching for the break. In fairness, Flaherty come back from the injuries he's had and to be in the shape he's a tremendous asset to the men. Here comes Keith. Keith drills it, and he has to force it. That's an absolutely one of the best strikes, Kevin Regan, you'll see, because the breeze is very, very strong. He puts it over, narrows the deficit to 8 points to 7.
An exceptional score from the sideline in front of the dugouts into that gate for its wind. 7 points to 8 heading towards half time. Tulla are not going to have that advantage, like we said, that the wind merited, but has Corrie a chance?
Corrie has a chance from Derek Corrie, but it's gone out to the left-hand side and gone wide. 8 points to 7 in favour of Tulla. Tulla, who lost their first game to Tubber, defeated Meadic Partine and drew to Callahan's Mills the last night. Killanena, who've lost out the first night to the Mills and lost to Killanena, lost to Meadic Partine here last Sunday. That puck out from Maloney goes over towards Smith. Smith doesn't come down with it. The brick wall breaks it out to Ian McNamara. Smith has it. Can he go on a run? He takes on Mulconroy. This man is poetry in motion. He's running. He shoots. Smith is that equaliser. In fairness to him, he might have been very, very quiet. Kevin O'Regan, we spoke about it. But I tell you one thing, he's after nailing 2 great ones.
Absolutely. 1 from play, 1 from freeze. An exceptional score from Keith Smith, just showing his class. A great score. Level pegging heading towards half time.
Yeah, level pegging. We must say hello to a member of our commentary team, or normally who's with us is Pat McNamara. Pat is wining and dining in the Lakeside as we speak. I think to the Lakeside they christened the grandson Calum to Keane and Pat's daughter Kayla, so congratulations to them. Mulcahy shoots. Mulcahy puts it on the bar, and in fairness, brilliant refereeing from Fergal O'Brien. Now, that's the advantage go. 9 points for Tulla, 8 to Killanena. So look, we wish the McNamaras and the Follies the very, very best look in the evening ahead, as Caelan, named after that famous Irish rugby player, of course, Cian Foley, a massive rugby supporter after Caelan Doris. So the best look to Caelan in his life ahead. The puck out from Maloney, great puck out from Maloney, out to Keith Smith. In comes Mihal Smith. Smith effective. Smith tries to get the handball shot away, but he's blocked down by Whittingham. Whittingham goes around in a loop. Here comes Whittingham. We're coming down to the closest edges. There's a dangerous ball. It's going in between Mulcahy and McMahon. McMahon, in fairness, is out first. A tigerish defender. He's pushed on the back. There's brilliant defending from McMahon. Kevin, you may not have, a lot of lads might know a lot about him, but he's tigerish. He's out first and he's doing his basics very, very well.
Exactly what you want from a corner back, and there's a real tussle inside there between himself and Corrie. As Colin Maloney is going to come out now and hit this one, it's probably outside of his range, but it's going to put huge amount of pressure on the Tulla backline again. It's probably going to land in around the 20-21, and Ryan Hayes, I see him drifting back. He's already picked up a couple of those long range frees that Colin has hit.
Yeah, and Smith he's out. Kind of the ball comes down to Aaron Maloney. Is Maloney going to shoots on sight, but not the best thing, as Smith was outside him a bit rash on. 29 minutes gone, 98
opportunity there now for Killanena, and in fairness, they have been taking most of their opportunities up to now, but that was a ball that could have been played into Keith Smith.
That ball comes from Ronan Keane. That's a brilliant goal from Shamey O'Donnell. That's as good a goal. Kevin O'Regan, you'll see. Ronan Keane, what a game he's having here at left half back. He gave it out to the experienced Flaherty. A great ball for Flaherty. He curled it in like Mickelson with the left on the left hand side. But I tell you one thing, O'Donnell was inside and he got up in front of Kevin Conlon. That's a big score, Kevin, coming to half time. Killanena 1-8, Tulla 9 points.
A great score from O'Donnell as Ian Mack has picked up that puck out from Dan Vaughan. Momentum was with Killanena as they head in towards the half time break.
Here comes Ronan Bowes. Bowes has played well. I thought Bowes, in fairness, was pulled back, but the ball comes in and no advantage growing, comes out to Vaughan. Now Killanena, the Vaughan goes long. Who's gone watching the break? Whittingham has gone inside. Donal Maloney gone back there for Killanena. Donal gets the ball out the side to Darren McMahon. We're at the discretion now of Fergal O'Brien here. Jason Keehan there. Colin Cobra for Tulla. Colin takes a kind of a high challenge, and Fergal doesn't blow on this occasion. The ball goes out. Error on Tablina, line ball for Tulla. There was a couple of, I thought in fairness, I thought Ronan was pulled here for, and I thought Colin was fouled there as well.
Yeah, probably on both sides, there was a bit of indiscretion, but it's a line ball for and I think Killanena will be delighted to, at this stage now, as the time closes down in half time, and they have a lead, that we didn't expect they would have starting off the game, okay, and they have the win to come in the second half.
Kevin, that's a real boost for Killanena. But in fairness, nothing that they don't deserve.
Absolutely, you'd say that they have probably been the better team with their launch back coming from like Cathal Noon and Ian Mack and Ronan Keane in their half back line. There's been a huge amount of pressure on the Tulla backs. That ball was a hit and hope ball really from Mark Flaherty in front of us. Shamey O'Donnell didn't give up now. He got the hurley, got the touch to it. Wrong footed Dan Vaughan and Kevin Conlon, who was marking O'Donnell, and that goal has put him in the driving seat as we head in the last couple of minutes before half time.
Yeah, we just got 1 minute into added time here. A line ball going to be taken by Tony Layden. Tony, another man who's recovered from injury. That's a good ball from Leighton. Can Tulla reply before half time? Corbett puts up the left paw, doesn't come down with it. Blocked away by Keehan, and it comes to Ian McNamara. And Ian McNamara having his best game of the championship for Killanena. Suffered an injury in the first round against O'Callaghan's Mills. Ryan Hayes goes up. Ryan is being tackled by Ronan Bowles. Ronan Bowles, the smallest man in that triumvirate over there, and he wins a line ball off away from the tackle off Fionn Ryan and Ryan Hayes. In fairness, Kevin, Bowes is small, but he is causing problems.
He's small, but he's a huge heart, Leo. We saw him last year as an impact sub in the under-21 campaign with Fecal Killanena. He's given it absolutely everything. He's not his height isn't standing in his way. Mark Flaherty, we've seen him many times in the past taking sideline cuts and putting him over. He's about 40 metres out, hitting it off his right. Would we bet against him scoring it?
Would you bet against him scoring it? Would you bet against him scoring it? You have to, because Patsy O'Donnell jumper waves it out to the left hand side, and Patsy was looking up for a long time because I know it attacked that post. Fahan, we're at the discretion now of Fergal O'Brien. That ball goes down towards Mulcahy. Mulcahy puts up the hand, doesn't come down with it. But Ian McNamara, my man the match in the first half here, definitely in Docklandy Shelva, out to Tobias. Tobias gives it to Noonan. Noonan goes direct into Shamey. Shamey got a goal a minute ago. He tries to turn, but Conlon gets out in front this time. Wasn't going to get caught the second time. Conlon flicks that ball out to Mulcahy or Malai. Malai opens the shoulders. Malai, can Tulla get a much needed score? And Malai, just when you need Tulla to deliver, Malai delivers in spades on that one, Kevin.
Absolutely, a trademark score from Ronan off his right. He squared up about 70 metres out. He made no mistake. A huge important score. 1-8 to 10 points. 1-8
to 10 points, Sean O'Halloran. We're coming to the dying moments. And once again, Maloney goes short. And in fairness, he's got all his puckouts away, and here's a chance for Malai again. Malai, is it going to be kind of a deja vu as last Sunday where the puck out was Whittingham has gone through. And Whittingham a shot. Brilliant save by Maloney. Out to Malai. Saved again. But Fergal O'Brien has called for the ball. A free in. Sean O'Halloran, we saw the same thing last Sunday. Killanena, the authors of their own downfall, a buck-out strategy, a ball going astray, drawing the attack on themselves.
It's a penalty.
And it is going to be a penalty. And Shawnee Whittingham, this is a big break for Tulla before half-time, Sean.
Yeah, just before half-time, and the stroke of half-time. Yeah, Killanena got caught, in possession and got turned over, and, Sean made a great run into the danger zone, as we call it, and he was pulled down, and, I suppose Fergal O'Brien had no choice but to go give a penalty.
In fairness, he gave the advantage.
He did, yeah.
For the two shots, and the penalty taker is Colin Corbett.
Yeah.
And Corbett, normally a brilliant marksman, hasn't been taken to freeze. You'll wonder, but obviously they have great confidence in Corbett, and you'd expect Corbett to go low with one of these down to Maloney. Maloney is swinging the hurley. This is probably the last section of the first half. Here comes Corbett. Corbett doesn't strike it well. It's a poor strike from a strike. You wouldn't expect that from such a marksman or a stickman as Corbett. And with that goes the half-time whistle. Cathal Noonan gets to incur the wrath of the referee. We're gone 4 minutes at a time. Killanena 1-8, Tulla 10. Big let off for Tulla, for Killanena, Kevin.
Absolutely, Colin will be usually disappointed with that. He just didn't get the rise and the strike right at all. It could be a turn by. We'll see how it plays out as the game finishes up.
And the ball is with Flaherty. Flaherty comes out. Fionn Ryan goes to ground. Another free given, a push in the back. And Killanena hanging on here for half time. But I tell you one thing, there's a crowd of frustrated young lads here on the line between Tulla and Killanena. They're made to get on, and I hope that the rain beginning to rain here out of the black cloud, Sean. They're hitting towards the hills. Hopefully they'll stay going in that direction.
Well, yeah. It definitely is looking bad for the rain now at the moment. It's rising up in Mahalaba and then it's coming down towards, Coolrebog. But as we're in the dying seconds of the half time, coming up to half time.
Yeah, and that ball is overcarried by Emma Mulcahy, and players are getting to know one another. So maybe it is just the right time that Fergal called a halt here at half time. Here. And on a scoreline of Killanena 1 goal and 8, it's Tulla 10 points. We're going to Jesus young lads, and they're sprinting in here, Kevin. I tell you, they're doing the strength and condition has to be admired for these young lads as they go in. But that's a big turnaround. Tulla were the dominant team, maybe in possession wise. Killanena kept in the game and took and players are beginning to know one another at half time. So the Bees will have maybe get to the dressing rooms quick. But on the balance of play, maybe Killanena just about shaded, Kevin.
you'd have to say that today the scoreline 1-8 to 10 points, Killanena point up. You couldn't have any arguments with that from a Tulla point of view. I think, like we said at the start, Sean called it out straight away as we're going through the teams at the start. The Killanena half back line are the launchpad and have been the launchpad for everything that's been good with Killanena throughout the first half. Tulla probably given it maybe a little bit too much space back there. Killanena just has got a little bit of a break as well, with Shamey O'Donnell's goal. The conditions died, it has to be said, during the first half, but by God they're picking up now as we see the under 8s of Tulla and Killanena take to the field. And we'll just call out those stars of the future. There's great excitement this morning, and definitely in my house, for kids making their championship debut, and really that's what it's all about. But yeah, Tulla, they brought a huge intensity to the Mills game last week. I would question, is that intensity there again today? Maybe not to the same extent. Killanena, we said at the start, they're fighting for their lives, and by God, that's what they're doing. They're giving it absolutely everything. Nothing's been easy, and it's all to play for. Killanena are going to have those conditions in their favour in the second half.
Sean, the breeze, we always say the breeze never wins a game for anyone, but it is quite significant. And Kevin, to follow on Kevin's point, the intensity that Tulla had last week against the Mills just doesn't seem to be at that level again today.
Yeah, it's very hard to rise, to rise intensity week on week, and that's probably, that has been significant here today, because Killanena, on the other hand, as Kevin rightly says, they have, they're really putting the shoulder to the wheel, and did it from the very start, but they've set out their stall in terms of the half back line, and up front then, the usual Mark Flaherty and Ronan Bowles, I thought, is causing a lot of problems. He's winning a lot of ball and he's getting on a ball, but at the end of the day, there's nothing actually in this game, and Tulla will do well now to get out of this here today.
Yeah.
Because, okay, let the win, as you say, the win never wins anything. That won't win a game for you. You have to go out and do it, but Killanena have the bit between their teeth at present, and they're in a great position at half time.
Yeah, and with that we're going to take our sus here here in Páirc Díshealbheithe Bodyke, and our scoreline Killanena Cool agus up Colini Tulloch de Colini Coolina 1 I differted on the fauna and around sin Toga meet sus.
Well, you're listening to Scariff Bay Community Radio, and we're here in the Páirc Díshealbheithe in Bodyke, and the half-time score is Killanena 1-8, Tulla 10 points, so a 1 point lead for Tulla. Hand you back now to our match commentator, Leo Doyle.
Yeah, and thanks a million, Jim. We're going to have to correct you on a small one there. It's Killanena who are in the lead by the 1 point. So and going playing with the aid of the breeze and the elements here in the second half. Tulla going playing into the Bodyke here in the second half. Killanena playing down towards Tuamgraney. Two teams are on the pitch. Is Fergal out there? Yeah, he's out there. Sean, again, I know we spoke earlier by half time. The breeze never wins anything. Toby O'Mara is gone to centre forward for Killanena. What do you expect from this second half, Sean?
Yeah, I expect that maybe Brian Quinn, we look at the position of their team in terms of the elements, and it's going to be interesting to see who they'll play in the full forward line or play in the defensive role in the half back line. That'll be important because the proof of it was Killanena in the first half. The half back line was their launching pad, so it'll be interesting to see the formation of the teams.
Yeah, and that ball is in, and it's Whittaker in towards Malay. McMahon comes like a train out to Ronan Keane puts the ball out to Flaherty gets out in front of Mull Conroy. They're having a great battle. Tobias gets it for Killanena. Tobias, a really top class hurler as O'Mara, gives it down to Bowes. This man is having a real good outing, but he's beaten on this occasion by numbers, and it's Ryan Hayes who comes out. Ryan puts the ball out to Colin goes to ground. Colin is met by Mark Flaherty, maybe a high enough challenge, and there's a shamajal out here in front of the young lads out there, and we must congratulate the young hurlers of Tulla and Killanena, who gave an absolute exhibition there here at half time in difficult conditions. And of course, as things turn out, Kevin, the rain is now gone as they go back into their shell to watch this second half. It
didn't dampen their enthusiasm. Like we said before half time, it's exactly what you want to see, as Dan Whittaker tries to pick up the ball, and now it's broken off to Shawnee.
Yeah, and it's Mihal, the Brick Bravely comes in there. Brick comes in, Shawnee tries to get it, and instead of Shawnee, it's Kalu. Kalu puts a lovely ball down the corner, looking for Dara Curry. Curry comes out, Dara does well. Maloney does even better. He's kicking it away. Malai, who's having a great game for Tulla. Malai wins that ball for Tulla. Push the ball out here to Killu, but the ball comes out. Colin Corbett has a chance to split the post. Colin, lovely strike off his left-hand side. Over the bar from the stick of Colin Corbett. He may have missed the penalty before half-time, but that's a top-class score from Colin Corbett, 1-8 to 11 points.
A great score from Colin and well worked from Malai. Malai, like you said, Leo, has been hugely influential in proceedings. He's gone into the full forward line with Derek Curry for the second half, and I'm sure that Tulla were trying to get the ball into two hurlers and hugely impactful men inside there, but as Colin Maloney hits the long puck out down towards Ryan Hayes.
Yeah, the breeze has died as Mobby. Fionn Ryan, an attacking cornerback, comes out in front of Bowes on this occasion. I tell you, hand pass out to Corbett. Corbett doesn't delay, puts a lovely ball into Mulcahy. Mulcahy is being held back by McMahon, and indeed Sean Holland does no doubt. I think Brian Quinn had a couple of choice words to say at half time because Tulla have really upped Denty.
Yeah, I've no doubt Brian used a few choice words, but the build up and the score, that's probably going to accrue now. That came from a crossfield ball from the Tulla half back line. A split ball over, and it was very hard to defend against. And in fairness, now Sean Whitcomb is probably going to put for I'd say one of the first times put Tulla in the lead. Yeah, put Tulla back into the lead, and it's 35 metre free for Sean. He should be meat and drink, and there's no doubt about it, as he said. And even going back here for last Sunday, Kevin, Killanena maybe lost their way in this kind of moving quarter, as they call it, in bigger circles. Shawnee puts it over the bar at 12 points to 1 goal and 8. Killanena now have to kind of batten down the hatches and attack this game again.
Absolutely, and it has been noticeable, as we referred to, that Tulla have come out of the dressing room meaning business, and they've definitely had a more positive start to the second half, 3 minutes gone. Yeah, that ball from Maloney maybe would have expected to go longer with the breeze. The ball breaks down to Tobias. Is Mark Flaherty there trying to get it out? Who's going to come out with this ball? We're being blinded there, but the ball, it comes out 10 men. It was having a very, very influent game. Is Ryan Hayes, lovely ball out into space for Dara. Dara comes out, loses his footing under slippy conditions to Cathal Noonan. Noonan shortens the grip. To be a great ball from Cathal Noonan. What a catch in the cool ball of Jen Vaughan. As safe as houses in there on the goals. Caught that difficult ball coming under the bar from that shot from Cathal Noonan. The ball comes out. He's coming out with it. It's Tony Layden. Tony Layden gets away from the challenge to Keith Smith. Keith doesn't follow him on this occasion, but the ball is coming down. Kenny and McNamara cut it out, but Corbett flicks it away one-handed. Flicks it away. He's coming in. Here's Corbett. Corbett has it for Tulla. He's coming through. He's going for. He gets the ball out to Curry. There's a chance of agreement. Malai has it. Malai cuts inside. Recycles the ball back out to Den. Den Whittingham. Oh, loose hand pass from Den. Gives it to Malai. Malai with his third point of the game. Sean Holland, Malai is having a big influence. 13 points to 1 goal and 8. Good team play by Tulla there. They laid off to each other, and Derek Curry, one possession, but he could have shot, but he just passed it out to Malai, and it's over the bar for Tulla, and it gone into a 2-point lead. And Sean, even I spoke about it earlier last Sunday. Killanena kind of lost their way in the third quarter. He's kind of deja vu, Sean. Yeah, more or less. Yeah. The next 10 minutes now is going to be crucial for Killanena to see how they can get back into this game. And I say there's a sub warming up for Tulla over there on the far side. Is that William Helpin? Looks like William Helpin is into the team. Is he in as a blood sub, or is Eamon Mulcahy gone off? Looks like a blood sub. The ball is pucked out to Micheál Smith. Whittingham has started the second half. That's Den at a tremendous speed. We're in the Lorna Parky. Who's going to come out with this one? Micheál Smith is in there. The brick is in there. Ian Mack gone in, but it comes out. It's Hayes. Hayes is a tower of strength. Puts that ball. And a kind of a swing there. Derek Curry swinging. Noonan is fouled, but it gets no free accruing on this stage. We're 65 metres out. Shawnee tries to get it for Tulla. Shawnee gives it out to Den. Here comes Den. Lively on the feet is Den. Brilliant soccer player also. Goes to ground. 2 or 3 Killanena in. And the ball goes to ground, and Barry Corbett there, the Tulla coach, quite happy with the intensity shown by Tulla, which is much improved here in the second half, Kevin. And I tell you one thing, there's no quarter rest to give in here. No, and we have to call out, and we have mentioned him already, Ryan Hayes really taking a leadership role on that Tulla team, and hungry for confrontation and doing exceptionally well. Who's going to come out with this one? Tobias trying to get it out, doesn't come out with it. It comes back to Noonan. Noonan just drives it down. He's going to come down on top of Hayes. He'll put up that left paw. Going to be maybe challenged by Ronan Bowe, but he gets away. Hayes, as you speak about him, gets the ball out to David Meehan. Meehan gives it out to Tony Layden. Tony Layden goes that crossfield ball again over the head of Donald Maloney. Maloney, I really love this player. He's a tiny cornerback. Gone back to Bourse on the full back line today. The ball down towards Flaherty and Mulconroy. Flaherty goes to ground. Mulconroy tried to pick it up soccer style. Doesn't do it on this occasion. Flaherty
as we said, we spoke about him. Puts in, uses the body. Shawnee tries to get it away. It's gone to ground again. I would say Fergal will be turning this ball shortly. Doesn't. It's very close to the stand. Everyone has a bird's eye view, and the stand absolutely packed here. Great crowd here for this Premier Intermediate Championship game. It's a do-or-die game for Killanena. Tulla, have to get it points out on the board as well. Fergal going to turn in the ball, and players mad for action, mad for tackles. That just shows the intensity. Flaherty tries to get up with it, doesn't come up with it. William Hedpen, the ball is like a bar of soap there. Noonan goes to ground. Hedpen goes in diving. I tell you, it is more like when the ball comes out to Smith. Smith shortens the grip, and he just,
great score,
with the flick of the wrist, brings that 1 point. Sean Holland, that's
a brilliant score.
Class for Smith. Not less than you expect from a really, really great player.
You have to admire the intensity of both teams now, and you have to admire Killanena especially because they're trying to get back into this game, and Keith Smith is the man that has done it.
13 points to 1-9. Dara trying to win the ball, minus the boots over there. Noonan does well, gives it out to Ian Smith, or Ian McNamara. Ian trying to get it. Colin Carver comes in. Hedpen is trying to get up. I tell you, Den tries to get up. Who's going to come out with it? But it's Ian McNamara. Ian loses it. Micheál Smith was looking at him. As Smith comes out, gives the ball to Maloney. Maloney just drives it. Great play from Maloney. Playing well at cornerback. Puts the ball down over the top. Comes back in here. Tony Layton. Aaron Maloney tried to get it. Aaron, cousin of Donald, tried to get up for Killanena. Right up in a corner forward position here. Close to the stand side. Who's going to come out with it? I tell you, Shamie O'Donnell, the man who got that vital goal before half-time for Killanena. Bose, the smallest man in the field, doesn't lack, whatever he lacks in height, he doesn't lack in spirit and fight, trying to get it. Shamie, and Bose, the smallest man, breaks out. Can he get out to Flair? Flair coming across. Flair turns off his left. Flair puts it off to the right-hand side and gone wide. Kevin, this is really entertaining. It's championship action at its very, very best.
The effort from both teams, the aggression going into tackles, going to rucks, it's usually competitive, and just reflective of what's at stake. Killanena battling for their lives, and Tulla looking for a place in the knockout stage, the Premier Intermediate Championship.
And a change again for Tulla. That blood sub has been reversed as William Hedpen makes his way off, and he's replaced back. Evan Mulcahy comes back on. 13 points for Tulla, 1 goal and 9 for Killanena. At 1 point differential at in the scoring. Just time at there's 1 point at half time in favour of Killanena. There's 1 point in favour of Tulla now, and the puck outs the wind doesn't seem to dampen the puck outs length of either Dan Vaughan or Colin Maloney, because they're both finding them going down long. That ball goes over the head of Keith Smith. Keith, maybe Killanena maybe not coming to the challenge as quick on this occasion, and Ryan Hayes just opens his shoulders and drives it down towards the far side. Jason Geehan, you can hear him call for that outside above in Flagmount as he breaks out. A tremendous warrior is Geehan. Had a very good game. Down towards Smith. Smith loses it. Oh, there was a kind of a pull there from, was it? Not too sure. Smith has it. Smith, can he get away from Ryan?
Hayes.
That's a brilliant flick away from Hayes. You have the current senior county star and probably an incumbent senior county star of the future coming. There's tremendous battles, Kevin O'Regan, all over the pitch.
All over the pitch. Like anybody, if they're on the ball, you don't have a fraction of a second. There's shoulders, there's flicks, there's just a huge contest all over the pitch, and it's very difficult. The conditions, it has to be called out. It's got exceptionally wet since just before half time. Very, very slippery underfoot conditions. The pitch is holding up well, but it is very, very slippery, and players are looking to hold their feet. We've seen Derek Corey already trying to change his footwear.
And the pitch, in fairness to Bodyke Hurling Club and a certain individual here beside me, pitch in top class condition here, as always here in Bodyke. The ball comes down, Carver puts up the left hand, doesn't come down with it. But Noonan, this man has cut on some amount of leather here, but his pass goes out to Ronan Keane. Ronan can go, gives it out to Micheál. Micheál Smith coming for Killanena, trying to cut through the middle. Here comes Micheál, recycles the ball, give it to the shooter, give it to the man in a better position. And Smith, really unlike Keith Smith, that was probably the easiest chance he missed all day.
Yeah, and it was a great build up to it. Was an opportunity lost for Killanena, but their possession in the half back line now again.
Oh, I tell you, they're going hard, and Barry Corbett is calling it for a hard. Here's a man who's going hard, it's Tobias, that ball maybe should have gone a bit further. It comes to the Mull Conroy. Mull is robbed by Ian McNamara. Ian took a bang that goes out over the line. William Hennon, normally fairly liberal with the flag, not liberal on this occasion, and he's encouraging the rest of the Killanena supporters. And that ball, and Dara was flinging, and it goes out to the left hand side and wide. There's and Ian Mack did pull up, did pick up an injury there from a swing and hurley there in the last challenge, but and Fergal O'Brien gives a well-deserved breather to both sides at this stage, Kevin.
I was just going to say, Leo, both sides are able to catch their breath, because I don't think there has been a moment's breath since the start of the second half. Tulla have come out with an intensity that they brought to the Mills game last week that you'd argue didn't bring to the first half of today's game. You saw the exchanges just a minute ago between Carl Noonan, who's been exceptional, and Dan Whitcomb. Ryan Hayes has been involved, Pádraig Mulconroy has been involved in just hugely physical contests. It's been noticeable. Ronan Keane did start the game very, very well for Killanena, but he's been on the ball just a minute ago, but he hasn't been as influential in the last number of minutes that he had been earlier on. And they will need him to get back into proceedings and be more influential if they're looking to get a result here, Killanena.
Yeah, and Ian Mack is down injured. Pick up a kind of a flain and hurley there in that last challenge here, close to the line, Sean. And look, he's having a great game for Killanena. Definitely his best game at the championship. And he's lost. He's getting the magic spray, as they say. And he's not a man that goes down. He's not a man that goes down lightly, Sean.
No. Well, you have to admire both teams, because they have raised the level of intensity in the second half. And Killanena fighting for their lives, and Tulla, want to get 2 more points on the board. And it's a game now that's going to be, the next 10 minutes is going to be absolutely crucial.
Yeah.
Whoever takes the initiative or gets a goal or whatever is going to get into the lead. That's going to be crucial for whichever team does that.
Yeah, and I see Tulla warming up a triumphant subs over there. Colin McInerney, I say William helping him.
And Carl Kalud, left hand and top, green helmet.
Then that ball goes down from Colin Maloney, comes down. Smith is out around the 21. Can he pick up this one? To be dangerous, not a great place. He got a brilliant goal here last Sunday. Tony Layton trying to break out, and does break out of a mess of Killanena defenders, attackers. He gets the ball out to Mulconroy. Mulconroy drives it up into the air, and that ball is gone. Colin Corbett puts up. That's a brilliant catch from Corbett with the flick at wrist. Corbett turns, and Cormac O'Hara dressed on. 14 points for Tulla, 1 goal and 9. In fairness, Corbett has shown great leadership. He'll be disappointed with his strike before half time, but they're 2 great scores, 14-1-9.
2 massive scores from Colin for the second half, and he's made up from the disappointing effort from the penalty just before half time. As Corey turns over the puck out, sharp puck out.
Yeah, and I'm not too sure about Fergal on that occasion, Sean.
Yeah, rather lucky break there now for Killanena. In fairness, he had a shot puck out and he was in trouble and got turned over. But Fergal has given the free to Killanena, so probably a lucky break there.
Yeah, now maybe there was a pullback. Dara is incensed with it, and he's not too often you see Dara Corey in. They go short again. This will go down as if it is going to go to. Ronan Keane gives it air. Is it going to keep inside and play? Who's going to catch it? The ball broken now by Fionn Ryan after the challenge of Shamie O'Donnell. And Ryan does well coming out. The Tulla defence have stood firm here in the second half. The ball comes out to Tony Layden. He has support play for him. That's a brilliant pick up from Meehan. Meehan is carrying the ball into the Killanena defence. Here comes Meehan. Puts the ball across to Ronan Malloy gets on the ball for Tulla, tries to take on a challenge. Is he going to recycle it? Puts a great ball across from Malloy. He gives the ball out to Den Whittingham. Can he cut into the ground? Gets away from Micheál Schmidt. Here comes Whittingham. Gets the ball back out. Tulla recycle out to the shooter, Shawnee gets the chance to block it down. Malloy has it for Tulla again, 40 metres out. Malloy turns and shoots off his left. Malloy puts it over the bar for his 4 points in the game. In fairness, those 4 points are crucial, Kevin. 15 points to 1 goal and 9.
I know Ronan was usually disappointed not starting the first day against Tubber. Injury was an issue, but he's really had a tour de force last day, and he's improved again today against Killanena. 4 points of play is an acceptable return at 44 minutes gone.
That shot puck out from Cullen went out to Ronan Keane again. Ronan was held up, and in fairness to Mulcahy, he's ever a good place to give a free shot. There's where it was.
Absolutely, yeah. But you have to admire Tulla's team play in the build up to the last score. They really got it around to the shooter and managed to get the ball over the bar by Ronan Malloy, and now they're gone into a 3-point lead.
2:20 for Aina Kilnamona, 14 points for the Mills in that intermediate game. So Aina Kilnamona well on the way to booking a knockout stage spot there on that occasion. Maloney has had a couple of teams against the breeze. Here's his first one with the breeze. Colin Maloney, dangerous. Fahan comes off his hand. Is it for a Shaska Coig? No, it's a point for the Cool Bala. Yeah. Colin Maloney, and for any code he deserves to score. I love to see this man. He's all action. He gives it absolutely everything, as entertaining as always. He puts it over the bar. Back to a 2-point game, Kevin.
And it's only Killanena second point from the second half. Keith Smith had won from play and Cullum's point from a free there. So Killanena and Tulla have been in top. The defence, particularly Tony Layden, has been in top in the second half.
That ball from Ronan Keane down to Ronan. It's Ronan to Ronan. It's Bowes. Ronan Bowes is being held back there, pulled back by Liam McInerney. And gets a flick away. Who's got Cathal Calloo comes out. Out comes, it is McInerney coming out. McInerney coming out for Tulla. Who's gone on the loop frame? Loses his footing. Gives the ball out to Whittingham. Whittingham has been all over the place in the second half. Pushed the ball up into the spare. Susan Spera. Corbett goes up with one hand. Gives it out to Curry. Here's Darragh Curry. Curry tries to take the challenge. Gives it out. Out to Meehan. Coming like an express train. Does a chance on. And Meehan does the right thing. He puts it over the bar. 16 points to 1 goal and 10. It can be an effort there. He could have gone for the goal, Sean. I think he took the right decision.
Yeah, he probably took the right decision. Yeah, but good layoff from Darragh Curry again. Tulla are getting more and more into the game, particularly their half-back line, and the full-back line, Tony Layden, Liam McInerney. They seem to be getting on a lot more ball, and they're getting more ball into the forward line.
Yeah, and indeed, Curry and Corbett are the tremendous outlets in there. They have Malagan out the field a bit, but Curry is holding the ball, breaking down the ball for the incoming running players, Kevin, and he's proven very, very much dividends here in the second half.
Absolutely. We've seen Dan run off the shoulder a little bit earlier. We've seen Éanna Calloo run off the shoulder. We saw David Meehan run off Curry's shoulder just there now to and get the score on the board. Yeah, so minute the calibre of Curry and Colin Corbett inside there are a serious handful for the Killanena full-back.
Yeah, 17 minutes gone here in the second half, and concern for Killanena as Ronan Bowes is gone down injured there on the far side. Not too sure who they don't seem to get no sub warming up as of yet for Tulla. We once again thank our sponsors here, the Holly Tree in Tulla here for their sponsorship here today in Bodyke D. Shelva. Jason O'Brien out trying to move players around there. Where Smith has gone into the square, but Kevin, if Smith is into the square, you have to get ball into him.
You have to get ball into him. There's no point having a man of his calibre inside without the ball going in. And I suppose, like we've said it already, like the fill up that Killanena got before half time with the Shamie O'Donnell goal, they haven't been able to build on it, and that's a credit to Tulla.
Yeah, credit to Tulla. It's a real good Premier Intermediate Championship game. Cullum Maloney, warm. Drives it down, going direct down the middle. Hayes goes up like the old-fashioned centre back and just blocks it down. It comes to Shamie. Shamie trying to get through a flurry of Tulla bodies there. We are 40 metres out from the Tulla goal. Who's going to come out with it? Ronan trying to get out there. O'Donnell has it. Gets the hand pass out to Tobias. Tobias is being held. A hand pass back out to Cathal. Cathal throws the shot into the air, and that's a lovely score from Cathal Noonan. He has played in the forwards in the past, Sean Holland.
Yeah.
He's just lovely score.
And he took up a great position for the pass, and you just nonchalantly put it over the bar. So he's back to a 1 point game.
Back to two Sean. The ball, a great puck out from Vaughan finds Meehan. Meehan is running at every opportunity. Kevin O'Regan, and his direct running is causing major problems for the Killanena defence.
Yeah, it absolutely is. He gets the head down at every opportunity, like you said, Leo. David, a renowned athlete, a half marathon runner for Tulla Athletic Club, and with very impressive scores. He didn't play hurling at all last year, took a year out, and he's been back involved in the setup this year, and he's been a huge addition. And he's playing very, very well.
Whatever about the half marathon, he's very good in the shot sprints coming through that Tulla midfield. And here's a free for Shawnee Mittigam, 60 metres out here into the breeze, but the breeze has died quite considerably here as the rain, the showers become more frequent here in Bodyke, and it's 16 points to 1 goal and 11. Here comes this free from Shawnee. Can he put Tulla into a 3-point lead? He's a brilliant striker, but that doesn't come inside, never attacks. So Sean, maybe we played down the significant of the strength of the breeze.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. It is rising because it's raining heavy now, and the wind is really blowing well. It's a free up for Killanena now again. Killanena are not lying down. They're still very much in this game.
And Cathal Noonan with the free, and I think Cathal was Dan was doing his best to have to keep Noonan back. And here's a free, 40 metres out, and they're calling for the cold bar and Maloney. Can he do from this sided field on the stand side what he done another and put it over the bar?
Yeah, it's about 90 metres at this stage. It should be a massive strike now from the half-back line, right on the sideline. But, there's a good wind at his back, but it will be a serious judgment if he can do it.
Maloney strikes it. Absolutely pinpoint score from Colin Maloney. I tell you, I tell you, Sean, he's a fair striker.
It's a great score now. In fairness, win or no win now, that was a fantastic score.
16 points to 112. Kevin, we're back in the middle, but back at the minimum again.
Back to the minimum again, just coming into 10 minutes left. It's all to play for Killanena. If they can get a bit of momentum, they're going to make Tulla work extremely hard for this win.
And Dan is hitting the ball out towards Shawnee. Shawnee goes up with that. Oh, he kind of, the Whittinghams are central to everything here. And Dan, I tell you, this man is just, look at the shot, the quickness of the feet. Gets the ball back to Leyden. I think they must have got the feed from the mother and Corofin, Kevin, because they definitely didn't get it in Kerry. Ian McNamara coming out for Killanena. Gets the ball out to the brick, gives it out to Darren McMahon. Darren could have been pulled for charge on that occasion. Can he get the ball out? Gets the ball out to Dolan Maloney, or Aaron Maloney, gives it out to Tobias. Tobias stands on his own half back line. Are we level in Parkney Shelva? We are level in Parkney Shelva, because that one was from downtown, from Tobias Amara. 16 points to 113. And Kevin, the breeze is blowing up again.
The wind has really picked up, and it's at the favour of Killanena. We saw Colin Maloney score a point from a free just in front of us here, over 90 metres out. And Tobias got a score very similar on his own 65 from play, and went out over the net and the dressing rooms here, and heading for Toomgray, and he might even ended up in the chocolate factory.
I'd say the chipper factory, the old chipper factory be more like it. 16 points to 1 goal and 13. We're parity. 52 minutes gone here in Parkney Shelva. 8 minutes left, close ahead of time. Dan Vaughan, William Hedman back on for Tulla in place of Eamon Mulcahy. I tell you, Dan keeps it close to the very close. You couldn't get any closer to the sideline. William Hedman, just on his introduction, is made with a massive bodies in claret and gold and blue and white. And Fergal O'Brien keeping quite. In fairness to him, Sean, he's
William Hannon, the linesman there, is viewing that there, but the flag never went up. So Fergal is keeping it close, watching it now.
And we see Carl Clues after into the fray as well, where number 21, David Meehan, has gone off. And William Halpin also after coming on.
And David will be, gave a great shift. William Hannon, normally not liberal, too slow to put up the flight line, definitely when Bodyke are playing, but keeping the flag down very much by his side this afternoon. And the ball comes in. Here comes Canoe coming through the middle. There's a chance for Tulla. Curry has gone to the side. Oh, and the passes, but he's pulled back. There was an important interception by Dolan Maloney, because there was goal coming there, Kevin O'Regan.
And that could have been it, done and dusted, but as it turned out, just the pass didn't go to hand. But Fergal called it back for advantage. Tony Leyden got fouled just as he led off the ball to Éanna Calloo. But that running through the middle is causing, David Meehan was causing trouble while he was on the field. Éanna running through the middle there is also causing trouble. That direct running from Tulla is having a benefit for Tulla.
Yeah, and there's an important free, and Shawnee missed the one on the far side the last time. But Kevin, if ever Tulla needed a score, they need one now. I know they're parity, but they need a score.
They need a score, yeah, just to turn the tide again. And it's a difficult one. Like we said, the wind has picked up, but the rain has really picked up as well. And up to for the last number of weeks, we've had perfectly dry summer weather, like we referenced earlier. But a difficult free from Shawnee, but well within his range. And I don't want to put the commentators across to him, so we'll let him do the business, hopefully.
Yeah, I have no doubt. I think he's going to nail this one to put Tulla back into the lead again. It's 113 to 16 as Shawnee composes himself here. His brother Dan keeping a close eye on him. And Shawnee just puts it. Does he put it? He puts it over the bar. Brings Tulla back into 1 point lead. Sean, there's no doubt about it. We knew this was going to be tight, but it's going to the wire.
Yeah, it's a real cliffhanger. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, he's nip and tuck all the way. Tulla have taken a 1 point lead, and they're on the ball again now.
Shawnee Whittingham, that's a lovely pass into Malay. Can Malay turn, and can Malay have a pop? Malay puts it up into the Susan Spear.
It's
Malay,
over.
that's Colin Maloney drops it. Oh, I tell you, and Fergal, I'm not too sure. Fergal, if Sean Holland, there was a moment he could have. I've seen him given.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. It's very much a 50-50 situation.
The ball is over to Aaron Maloney. Aaron Maloney gets away, flicks that ball away from Fionn Ryan. Ronan Bowes on the attack for Killanena. He's being pulled back, and there's definitely a free in. Gives it to Smith. Smith is pulled back, and I tell you one thing, Kevin, the Tulla defence there was Dowshat not pass, because Smith got a goal from 30 yards here last Sunday. A bullet, a daisy cutter along the ground. But I said, there was, they fouled Bowes, they fouled him. There was no way he was getting in there.
But just to go back to a minute ago, Roland Malloy had a shot for a point, it dropped short. Colin Maloney fumbled the catch, and there was a Darragh Corey had claims for penalty. Fergal wave play on, and now Keith Smith has a relatively straightforward free on the 20-metre line just to the right of the goals. That they're the turning points that could impact the result of matches.
Yeah, indeed, there's no doubt it's tight margin, but in fairness to O'Brien, Fergal, as we said, top class referee, he's making a very good match out of this. Because
100%.
I said he has to play flow as much as he can. 56 minutes gone here. 1-14-17. A quick puck out from Dan Vaughan out to Tony Layden. Tony goes out to William. William goes very close to the line, keeps the ball in. And a foul hand pass from William. And I tell you, in fairness to Ian McNamara, Sean, that was tremendous defence.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Great work by Killanena, there's no doubt about it. Every ball has been fought, with huge intensity, and you have to credit both teams, in the conditions, and Killanena now have an opportunity. Keith Smith is lining up there, and he's just on his own 70 yards line.
Yeah, and Keith was trying to buy a few
right by the sideline.
He was trying to buy a few yards. Looks like David Meehan is back on again, and I think is it Cahill. It must be in a blood sub. But here's a chance with 4 minutes to go for Keith Smith to put Cumulluclas Killanena into the lead. It's tight to the sideline, 5 metres in from the sideline on the stand side on his own 65-metre line. The breeze kind of blowing, coming across the field now, down towards the bog side. Here comes Smith. It doesn't turn inside. It didn't turn inside. Never got to follow through at all. And that could be another turning moment, Kevin.
You could, and Colin Maloney got a free from not too far away from that a while ago and made no mistake, so it could be a big turning point.
And a quick puck out to Darragh Corey. Here's Corey, there's a goal on for Tulla, and Corey puts it over the bar. He just couldn't get away from the challenge of Dolan Maloney, and took the better option. Colin Maloney goes out with the puck out to Ronan Keane. This is going to go along from Ronan Keane. He goes short, he makes a liar out of me. He puts it out to the Colcara. The Colcara is none other than Keith Smith. Smith is being chased by Helfin. Here comes Smith. Can he steady himself? Mother of God.
Score.
I tell you, every score Smith has got has been better than the other. 1-15 to 18 points. In fairness, Kevin, that's just absolutely top class.
Top class from two exceptional hurlers. Ronan Keane picked out Keith Smith. Keith Smith came out in front of Tony Layden, collected it brilliantly, turned onto his right, off his hurley, shrugged off the challenge of William Hampton, and what a score from the sideline.
Next score is vital. Possession is vital here. It's 1-15 to 18 points. And Cahill Noonan, I don't know what happened there, but Malloy was involved again.
Yeah, it seemed to be kind of accidental though. Cahill was up right on his back, and he just, whatever way he made in contact with Malloy, and 'tis a free in for Tulla now. Probably a crucial free considering the time.
And in the full scheme of things, indeed. And Cahill protesting his innocence as he will. There's no doubt about it. But Fergal is fairly sure. And Shawnee, a test for Shawnee, because he's one wide from a similar distance in similar position not so long ago. But it's parity and 2 minutes plus at a time here in Bodyke in a really, really very good, entertaining Premier Intermediate Championship game. And you have to give credit to both Tulla and Killanena for their performances here. Shawnee Whitcomb, 45 to 50 metres out from the Killanena goal. Colin Maloney organising operations over there. Dan is on this side of the field. I don't think Dan is looking for the pass. He's trying to watch maybe the run for a quick puck out from Ian McNamara. Here comes Sean Whittingham. Sean, 20 metres in from the sideline. Well within his capabilities, but on a wet, greasy ball, and the breeze has kind of died down just as he takes it, and he drills it out to the right-hand side and gone wide. And there's a chance. Sean,
yeah, that's an opportunity.
Swings and roundabout, Sean.
Yeah, he has two missed now, two crucial ones. But it's still all to play for here. A couple of minutes to go. But a point either way, and always probably going to swing the thing.
And here goes Tobias. Tobias has been pulled back by Ronan Hayes, by Ryan Hayes and Tobias. Oh, and he has put it. Oh my God! You would have expected, and Tobias had country and green grass to run into, and he put that one out to the left or out to the right and wide. And who's going to be the hero, Kevin?
Or will it in parity, 1-15 to 18 points, just injury time left? Tobias will be disappointed with that. He had more time than he realised, I think.
That ball, and is it Dennis watching the break, and it comes out. McMahon goes old school. He goes on, but Killanena will want Smith on the ball, but it's Tobias. Tobias is being challenged. He gets the ball out to Smith. Oh, I tell you one thing, he could have been fun. Smith has green grass in front of him. Here comes Smith, shot into the grip, and puts it, go hard and dressed on, and Killanena go into the lead. And there's no doubt about it, Sean. Smith is turning on the tour de force here in the second half, Sean.
There's no doubt about it. He's got majestic points from all angles and from all distances. And he got him in the first half against the wind and got him in the second half with the wind. You know, and you have to admire Killanena. You know, they looked, 10 minutes into the second half kind of dead, but they have really come to life in the last few minutes.
It's Colin McInerney is coming on for Tulla. I'm not too sure. Is it Dan Whittingham is down, and Tulla cannot afford to rest on their laurels. Colin is gone. Fergal O'Brien signals 4 minutes. We've nearly one gone of that at this moment in time. Dan will be a loss to Tulla. Tobias is now down. In fairness, they've given it all. And Colin McInerney and Ronan Keane, they know one another quite well off the field. They're getting to know one another very well on the field. Also, Dan Vaughan will hit this puck out, and Fergal, in fairness, him given time to both teams to get their full complement of players back in the pitch. Kevin O'Regan won 16 to 18 points. And this will suit Killanena to stop the break and play. The wind has died again. Your thoughts?
Yeah, no, absolutely, Leo. Like that's crucial score from Keith Smith, and he's really taken on, like we said, a real tour de force in the last quarter. In particular, he scored 3 points in play, one as good as the other, and they're 1 point ahead. We're gone into injury time now as Dan Whitcomb comes off. Toby was injured as well, but he's back up on his feet, gone into the full back line, marking Kevin Conlon. Dan Vaughan with the puck out down top of William Halpin and Derek Corey.
Yeah, he's gone for the ball winners, and it's going to come up. Cullum has it. Cullum, what a brilliant pick up from Colin McInerney. Colin McInerney is a very Smith is gone towards ground, and I thought he's robbed by Tony Layden. Very close. William Hennon is very liberal with that flag over here, and Ronan Keane trying to win it. What a flick away there from Micheál Smith. He comes out to the brick. The brick with, and he got a foul there afterward. Smith has a chance to split it. Has he a chance to split it? It goes into the hands of Dan Vaughan. I thought, in fairness, Kevin, our Fergal played the advantage. The brick was fouled. Aaron Maloney, Hurlius over there on the far side. Mull Conroy with a Hurley coming through, puts the ball up into the air. Who's going to get there? Ian McNamara over there for Killanena. Shawnee Whittingham, but it's McNamara for Killanena. Evades the tackle of William Halpin. Gives it to Noonan. Noonan has one. He's going for a big one downtown. Noonan puts it. Go Holland just on. Sean O'Halloran. Noonan has come up with 2 big points here in the second half, and they're in a 2-point lead.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, brilliant point now from Colin Noonan. Yeah, from way inside his own line.
The ball comes to Derek Corey. Tony Layden lets it go. Bowles comes in with the tackle. Tony gives it out to Ryan Hayes. It's all or nothing for the men from Tulla. Derek Corey is gone. Hayes has gone through. He's cutting like a knife through butter. He's blocked by Ronan Keane. And a free in. Who's he going? What way is it going now? Kevin, what have Tulla to do? They'll be checking the time. There's going to be a man incurring the rest of the referee, and not the best thing to be doing. It's Jason O'Brien, I think, is the Killanena manager. We'll get his name in the lower. Now, Kevin, will Tulla tip it over the bar? Shawnee, will he go for? He's probably outside goal range.
I think he's outside goal range, but with the conditions so slippy. But at the same time, I can't say anything else but a free for. A point from the free from Shawnee Whitcomb, as Fergal gave a red card to Jason O'Brien, I think. So there was obviously words exchanged. If there's Ryan Hayes again, we spoke about him earlier. Just
a real leader.
The leader at 18 years of age. He carried that ball maybe 30 metres through the heart of the Killanena defence and won his free. Killanena obviously had issues with the free, but the free as it is, Fergal wasn't going to change his mind as Fergal waits for Jason to enter or leave the field of play after that red card. But Shawnee Whitcomb, he's missed a couple, but this one you can't see him missing it.
You can't see him missing it, but he can't miss it. Mark Flaherty now out at centre forward for Killanena. They're bringing the top men out the field. Here's Shawnee Whitcomb. There will be still time for Tulla. Shawnee brings it back to 1 point. Does he bring it back? It's gone to the right hand side and gone wide, and the score remains Killanena 1 goal and 17, Tulla 18 points. Difficult conditions, Sean. You can never bank on it.
Never. No, and it was a great opportunity, more or less straight in front of the goals.
But that ball from Maloney, that's a line ball.
It's at the discretion of the referee now.
I would imagine it's a Killanena ball. Came off the stick of Tony Layden and Kevin O'Regan. All the momentum and advantage is with Killanena as Flaherty now decides to take the sideline. Not being under doubt the possibility that he'd cut this one over the bar. 1-17 to 18. We thank our match sponsor and the Holly Tree in Tulla. Tremendous supporters of Kate and Martin of the GA, and as we said, anytime you go to Tulla, call in there, the treats are just a speciality and their food is always first class. Mark Flaherty's his line ball, 60 out. Flaherty cuts it, doesn't come inside, but it's gone out to the left hand side and gone wide. Tulla will get probably chance someone. Falker into Clayshaw. The puck out goes out to William Hedman. William Hedman gives it to Kevin Conlon. Conlon go just a chance for Cullum McInerney. Cullum for Tulla, 30 metres out. Can Cullum take him on? Cullum has gone through. Cullum, a shot into Corbett. Corbett for Tulla. Corbett going to shoot. A shot, brilliant save by Maloney. Out to the goal for Tony Lydon for Tulla. And from the depths of defeat, Tulla have pulled the 2-point deficit into a 1-point lead, and it's the wing back Tony Lydon. Maloney saved the ball. He came out. Smith has to go for it. Smith puts it up in the air. Is it coming inside?
It is.
It's coming inside. It's level pegging. Sean O'Halloran 118 to 118. It's Fergal O'Brien going to call parity here. The final whistle. We've had some minutes of action.
We've had everything here in the last 2 minutes. Brilliant goal from Tulla and a brilliant point from. And there it is, a full-time whistle from Keith Smith, tied up the scores with a massive point from inside his own half-back line.
Kevin O'Regan, I think, very apt at the end of the game. The two players closer to one another that had a big hug from one another was Keith Smith and Tony Lydon. That goal from Tulla, a shot that Corbett, Maloney done well. He saved it. The ball came out. The Killanena defence will be disappointed. They didn't get the clearance away. And Lydon with a volley into the top corner. But in fairness to Maloney, quick puck out to Smith. And what an absolute beauty of a point for Smith. 118 to 118. As good a game as you would see in Premier Intermediate.
Absolutely. Just the intensity and how competitive both teams were from the get-go was exceptional and thoroughly entertaining. The goal that Tulla scored, it was exceptional. It came from a shot puck out. I think Willie Halpin picked it up, laid it off to Kevin Conlon. Kevin Conlon delivered a brilliant ball into Colin McInerney, who showed a huge amount of composure, laid the ball off to Colin Corbett. An outstanding save from Colin Maloney. The rebound from that save from Colin Maloney. Tony Lydon, how he appeared where he appeared, literally on the edge of the square. A brilliant volley reminiscent of maybe Eamon Taft many moons ago. But then for Colin Maloney to find Keith Smith, who gave it just a tour de force from that puck out, and Keith Smith made no mistake from his own 65 to make a 118 apiece to the final score. A fair result, you'd have to say. Killanena, probably in Killanena's involvement in the championship, I expect, will it?
They have trouble to play, but on a play like this, Kevin, you would never know.
If they play like this, that's very true. Tulla, I suppose, there was ups and downs throughout the performance of Tulla during the course of the game. They started the second half like a train. The fourth quarter was all down to Killanena, and really and truly Keith Smith. Like Ryan Hayes, absolutely outstanding. Tony Lydon, outstanding as well for Tulla. Carl Noonan, brilliant for Killanena as well. Colin Maloney, excellent in goal. A thoroughly enjoyable game. 118 apiece. You can't have any arguments with the result.
Sean, Killanena will be disappointed. They had everything, and as it turned out, Mark, with the line ball, if he'd hit it anywhere, maybe bare wide.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep it in play.
But if he scored it even, they probably would get a chance to go for the goal. And in fairness to Colin McInerney, when he won possession, he was way out in his own. I couldn't know how he actually got position because there was no one team near him, and he took it on and he set it up. He really set up
Colin
the goal
McInerney
for Tony Lydon.
For a few minutes, Sean, but he made a couple of vital contributions.
He did. He was on very short space of time, but he had two brilliant contributions. But the credit to both teams, in the conditions that we had here today, wind and rain, but it was a real championship game though. Fought out by both teams, and it just proves the pride of the parish and the pride of the club, the pride of the community. Everything came to fore here today, especially in the second half. And credit to both teams. 118 apiece is a fair reflection of the performance of both teams.
And I suppose we have to add to that, the referee of O'Brien, top class. He made a brilliant match out of it. In fair, everything was top class. Conditions were top class. The performances from both teams was top class, and you know, Killanena mightn't be happy with it. Tulla, another point on the board, keep that run going. And, you know, they're now on 4 points. Killanena are on the one, probably maybe rules them out getting into the knockout, but they could still maybe survive that relegation battle, Kevin, which is going to be huge as well.
Huge, but they'll have their hands full against Tubber the next day out. I saw Tubber on Friday night, and very, very impressive. That has the makings of another a really entertaining game. Tulla's campaign is over now. They've had their 2 draws and they've had their win against Partee Mealik to finish on 4 points. It should be enough to get them into the quarterfinals. And at the end of the day, when you started the championship campaign, that's where you wanted to be. However you got there doesn't really matter. So we look forward to it, and that Premier Intermediate Championship we've been in for a treat so far, and I know there's going to be another game in midweek between the Bodyke and Evicted that we'll thoroughly look forward to as well, and the final place will be decided next weekend.
Sean, that head-to-head between Tulla and Partee is huge now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's crucial actually. But there'll be swings and roundabouts in this all this competition. You know, the last round of games are probably going to really decide who goes forward and who's going into the relegation.
But Sean, they really whet the appetite, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You have to admire the Premier Intermediate Championship this year. You know, there's no game that you could say, you know, is going here or going there until it is played out and you get the result.
Yeah, finally, lads, between yourselves, men of the match here, and after a marvellous and many contenders.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Ronan Keane, you know, for Killanena, big time. On the Tulla side, Ryan Hayes, Tony Layden was very good, and Derek Corey, I thought, and you know, Sean Whitcomb. You know, but at the end of the day, you know, you have to admire, even though he didn't win tonight, but this evening's game. But Keith Smith, you know, for his scores from distance, you know, from all angles, in great conditions, you know, from a lot of them inside his own half back line. They were absolutely brilliant scores. So I'd give the nod to Keith Smith.
Yeah, and full value for Kevin.
Full value. Keith has been absolutely outstanding, but like we have to mention Rowan Malloy as well. He scored four from play. We have to mention Ryan Hayes, like we said, just the leadership he's shown, not just alone his hurling ability. He has been exceptional. Tony Layden was outstanding in the second half as well. But yes, you'd have to agree with Sean. I'd have to agree with Sean. Keith Smith, some of the point taking he had in the second half was just a joy to behold.
Yeah, and indeed, lads, we're going to take our leave from Páirc Ní Shelbhithe, Bodyke, on a scoreline of Killanena 1 goal in 18. It's Tulla 1 goal 18. My thanks once again to Kevin and Sean for the analysis. Thanks to Jim and to Luke, who for one stage, obviously he decided to join us Friday night and we left early, but he decided to give it a second day out over the weekend. And thanks, lads, for your job on production here. We thank our match sponsors, the Holly Tree in Tulla. As we said, you get as much enjoyment out of the Holly Tree in Eugene as you did here when you get from this intermediate championship game. And with that, we're going to take our leave from Páirc Ní Shelbhithe. From me, Leo Doyle, until we meet again, it's Benach Day, August Lawn.